Welcome to Dynamic Audit Locker. Hi, I'm Charlie, and I'd like to give you a quick tour of Dynamic Audit Locker and show you how it works. But first, let's talk about why we built it. In the old model, Microsoft charged one rate for all storage requirements for Dynamics 365, at a rate somewhere between $5 and $10 per gigabyte per month. In the new model, which is in place now for new environments, and will become effective on the next renewal cycle for most existing customers, the storage is broken down into 3 different buckets, with different pricing and per-user allotments. There's database capacity, which covers your basic CRM data and the entity definitions, which you get 10 gigabytes to start with, plus 250 megabytes per licensed user. Additional database storage costs $40 per gigabyte per month. There's file capacity, which covers the file attachments to notes and activities, which you get 20 gigabytes to start with, plus 2 gigabytes per licensed user. Additional file storage costs $2 per gigabyte per month. And there's log capacity, which is for your audit history, which each tenant gets just 2 gigabytes, with no additional capacity per user. Additional log storage is $10 per gigabyte per month. When this new model was first announced, we looked at a lot of different tenants, and most were over the 2 gigabyte storage limit. Some were way over. Here's a look at a real example with a tenant that's over a terabyte over the 2 gigabyte limit. At $10 a gigabyte, this will cost them $10,000 a month to keep their audit logs. There's got to be another way to keep this data, we thought. And after some extensive searching, we found a few tools out there, but nothing that worked quite the way we wanted it. And so we built Dynamic Audit Locker. Here's what it looks like. In Dynamics 365, the Audit Locker shows up as a tab on every entity with auditing enabled, and shows the same audit data as the out-of-the-box Audit History tab, with a couple advantages. You can sort by clicking on the column headers, and you can filter the results with a search that's looking into every field available. You can search by user, field name, date, or a particular field value, which if you're digging in to find why a particular field was changed, makes this research process much quicker and easier. Also, for system administrators and power users, we have a Power BI report that's hooked up to the Audit Locker database that can provide insights into who is using the system, what entities are being used, and an overall picture of system adoption. The entire Audit Locker database is made available to you through Power BI, so additional reports can be created as you see fit. So that's a quick look at the front-end and Power BI aspects of Dynamic Audit Locker. Now let's spend a couple minutes on how it works. The solution is entirely based in Azure. There's an Azure Logic app that sets the schedule for the audit log download. Depending on your needs, the audit data can be updated every night, every hour, or every few minutes, depending on the level of system usage. Once the audit data is extracted, we save it both to a backup file for safekeeping and to an Azure Cosmos database that serves as the main database for the app and the data source for Power BI. There's also a managed solution that gets installed in the Dynamics 365 environment, which provides a management page and the mechanisms for displaying the data to the users. Installation and setup has 2 phases. Once installed, it'll start up in the initial loading phase, where the app will ingest all of the available audit logs. After that phase completes, the app moves into the normal scheduled phase, which will capture the new audit logs created since the last run. At any point after the initial loading phase, the audit logs stored in the Dynamics 365 environment can be safely deleted to free up space and reduce the log storage add-on subscription requirements. In many cases, keeping only the most recent audit logs will keep the requirements below the 2 gigabytes included with the base subscription and not require any additional storage from Microsoft. So that's Dynamic Audit Locker. More features for the users, Power BI for the administrators, and the ability to keep your audit history as long as you want with less cost. Contact us today to get started.